Magnus the Red is one of the most fascinating and tragic figures in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. He is the Primarch of the Thousand Suns, a legion of space marines known for their mastery of psychic powers and intellectual pursuits. Magnus is a character defined by his brilliance, his thirst for knowledge, and the devastating consequences of his hubris. Magnus was created by the Emperor of Mankind as one of the 20 Primarchs, genetically engineered superhuman leaders meant to spearhead the Great Crusade to reunite humanity. Like his brothers, Magnus was scattered across the galaxy by the forces of chaos and landed on the planet Prospero, a world inhabited by scholars, mystics, and psychers. Embracing Prospero's culture, Magnus grew into a prodigious psychic talent, surpassing even his father, the Emperor, in raw psychic ability. His towering intellect, crimson skin, and single cyclopean eye made him a striking and otherworldly figure. When the Emperor discovered Magnus, he immediately recognized his son's potential and gave him command of the Thousand Suns Legion. Magnus molded his legion into a reflection of himself. Scholars and sorcerers who pursued knowledge and sought to master the warp, the dimension of psychic energy that underpins the universe. The Thousand Suns viewed themselves as protectors of humanity, wielding their psychic abilities to preserve and expand human understanding. However, their use of the warp and psychic powers came with grave consequences. The Thousand Suns were plagued by a genetic flaw called the flesh change, a mutation that caused their bodies to warp uncontrollably. Desperate to save his legion, Magnus turned to forbidden knowledge and made a pact with Tzeentch, the chaos god of change and sorcery. Though this temporarily halted the flesh change, it marked the beginning of Magnus's fall into corruption. Magnus's fate was sealed during the events of the Horus Heresy, a galaxy-spanning civil war initiated by his brother, Horus Lupercal. When Magnus foresaw Horus's betrayal, he used his immense psychic power to warn the Emperor by sending a message directly into the Emperor's mind. However, this act inadvertently shattered the Emperor's great project, the Webway, causing catastrophic warp breaches on Terra. The Emperor, furious at Magnus's reckless actions, ordered the Space Wolves, led by Leman Russ, to bring Magnus to account. What began as a censure quickly escalated into the burning of Prospero as the Space Wolves unleashed total destruction upon the Thousand Suns' homeworld. Magnus, broken and betrayed, finally turned fully to Tzeentch, allowing the Chaos God to save him and his surviving legion by transporting them to the planet of the sorcerers within the warp. Magnus ultimately ascended to become a demon prince of Tzeentch, embracing his new role as a master of sorcery and an eternal enemy of the Imperium. As a demon Primarch, Magnus is a being of immense power, wielding psychic abilities that can reshape reality itself. Despite his fall, Magnus is a deeply tragic figure, as his actions were often motivated by a desire to protect his legion and humanity. Yet his hubris, obsession with forbidden knowledge, and manipulation by chaos led him to betray the very ideals he once held dear. Magnus the Red stands as one of the most powerful and complex characters in Warhammer 40,000, a being of incredible intellect and devastating power, forever caught between his ambition and the corruption that consumed him. His story is one of pride, betrayal, and the heavy cost of seeking forbidden truths in a galaxy consumed by war.